Well, good morning, Lighthouse family. And once again, this is Morning Manna for Friday. And this is actually a milestone day for me. This is the last manna that I am doing as a pastor of Lighthouse and as head of school for Lighthouse Christian School. Manna's been a treat for me. I remember giving these devotions all the way back in the old elementary in what we called the prayer room. And staff would meet. Um, for devotions and go through the word. And then I remember downtown Cafe Agape and a lot of staff on the school and church and even people from the congregation if it worked out with their work schedule. And then the last uh, decade plus at our Eastland facility where we have plenty of room for people to have coffee and fellowship and get into the word. And manna is no accident. We're deliberate in why we do manna, obviously following God and how he dealt with Moses and the Israelites as they wandered coming out of Egypt. And it says in Deuteronomy 8:16, "Who fed you in the wilderness with manna that your fathers did not know, that he might humble you and test you to do you good in the end. Beware lest you say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand have gotten me this wealth. You shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may confirm his covenant that he swore to your fathers, as it is this day. And if you forget the Lord your God and go after other gods and serve them and worship them, I solemnly warn you today that you shall surely perish." So, the Moses is writing this Deuteronomy, and he's explaining that God's the one that supplied the manna. It wasn't Moses, wasn't anybody else. God has always provided, and he'll always provide for us. We can't take credit for great things that happen in our lives because they're at the will of God, and we have to trust in that, just like they had to trust for 40 years with that manna. And then it says back in Exodus, chapter 16, verse 31. Now the house of Israel called its name manna. It was like a coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Let a omer of it be kept throughout your generations, so that they may see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness when I brought you out of the land of Egypt." So he's asking for them to keep a certain amount among their generations to remember how God has provided for them. It's so important that we understand that it's he can do all this without us, but he chooses to use us. And in that process, we need to give him glory and realize he's going to provide just enough for the journey. And then he also instructs the leaders here, verse 33, and Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put a omer of manna in it and place it before the Lord to be kept throughout your generation." So it's like a tenth of a ephah. So it's like a size of maybe a peanut butter jar, and of course it was placed in the covenant Ark of the Covenant, and there again reminding people of God and how he's provided and taken care of us. And then Jesus addresses manna in John 6, verse 31. He says, "Our fathers ate the manna in the wilderness. As it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat." Jesus then said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, it was not Moses who gave you the bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." And they said to him, "Sir, give us this bread always." You see, manna is more than just a food, a subsistence to keep us alive. The manna that comes from God is life-changing, life-providing. And that's the manna that we need to covet in our lives. And that's why it's so important with these devotions. That's why we call them manna, is when we take the word and we apply it to our lives. It is life-changing. It is bread from heaven. This manna is bread from heaven. I'm so thankful to so many people, and I would not do justice if I tried to thank everybody that I have served with at the church, at the school over the years. But it's a lot of people, and what a blessing it has been. What a blessing it has been to be able to provide the word, to give nuggets day by day as we all are on this journey together, just like the Israelites. And we're not always sure of what's around the next corner. We're not always sure when we're going to arrive to where we're going. But we do know one thing for sure, that God is with us every step of the way on this journey. Thank you. Love you all. God bless. Bye-bye.